Hi mathematicians, and welcome back to the Math Lab. I bet you're wondering, did we get another message from our friends at the FBI? Well, we did. So go ahead and get your detective gear on because we have another case to solve. Here's what you need for today's lesson: a whiteboard and a marker, a piece of paper and a pencil, and of course, your detective gear. Hit pause and meet me back here. Okay, math detectives, now that you have your materials, it's time to review what we've learned in the past 2 weeks. There was 2 secret formulas and 1 secret tool that we need to use to solve our problems. Do you remember what they are? That's right. Our secret tool is the number bond. What is it? The number bond. So let's go ahead and talk about our parts for the number bond. Part, whole. Excellent job, boys and girls. Now, let's talk about those 2 secret formulas that go with our number bond. Do you remember what they are? That's right. There's 1 addition and 1 subtraction. So let's go ahead and say our addition equation. Ready? Part plus part equals whole. Say it with me. Part plus part equals whole. Excellent job, detectives. Now that we've done our addition equation, it's time to say our subtraction equation. When we're subtracting, we start with our whole. Excellent. Whole minus part equals part. One more time. Whole minus part equals part. Okay, detectives, now that we've done a quick review of what we've learned in our past 2 lessons, we are ready to go ahead and start with our case. Okay, detectives, clues for you, the final case, sent from Washington, D.C., Session 3. Let's start with that warm-up. To receive your first clue, you need to count by tens. However, there is a catch. Start counting at the number 2 and stop at 102. This is easy peasy for us by now. We know that we're just adding 10 every single time, and our tens place is going to change, but our ones place stays the same. That's right. So 2 plus 10 is 12. All right, detectives, let's go ahead and do this. Detective speed. Are you ready? Let's go. 2, 12, 22, 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, 102. You guys are becoming counting by 10 experts. I bet you could start at any number and add 10. Like, if I said 84, you would say 94. If I said 36, you would say 46. Good. If I said 52, you would say 62. Sending you some shine. You are a counting champion. All right, detectives, let's see if we've earned our first clue. Do you remember the secret tool and code? That's right. It's our number bond, which is made up of a whole, part, and a part. There are 2 equations that we use with our number bond. Do you remember what they are? That's right. We have our addition one, which is part plus part equals whole. We also have our subtraction equation, which is whole minus part equals part. Let's see how the FBI wants us to use these equations today. Clue number 1. It's time for the difficulty to grow. There is no more starting off slow. The numbers will be mixed, you see, with higher levels of difficulty. Are you solving for the part or for the whole? Solving for the missing numbers is your goal. Oh, I don't know. What do you think? Let's see what they mean by this. Jackson had 5 dogs and Joni had 7 dogs. They had 12 dogs altogether. Make the number bond match this problem. So they gave us all 3 numbers, so now it's our job to figure out where they go. I'm going to read the problem again. Jackson had 5 dogs. Joni had 7 dogs. They had 12 dogs all together. Jackson, Joni. I think I'm figuring out where my part whole goes. So here's Jackson with 5 of them, Joni with 7 of them, When they get together, they're making their whole, they're making that bigger number, and they get 12. That's a lot of dogs. So let's go ahead and label our part whole and put them in the number bond. So I said, this is my part, right? Jackson's 5 dogs. And Joni had 7 dogs. So that is my second part. So I'm going to put that in my number bond. 5 and 7. Okay. Then they had 12 dogs altogether. That has to be my whole because 1, it's the biggest number. And I bet when you add 5 and 7, you get 12. Now that we've put our numbers in our number bond, it's important that we double check just to make sure we're right. So let's go ahead and grab 7. 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 plus 7 equals 12. So that must mean 12 minus 7 equals 5. Excellent job, detectives. We are crushing our first problem. Let's go ahead and look at problem number 2. Okay. Chris baked 54 cookies. He ate 50 of them. Now there are 4 left. Complete the number bond to match this problem. So it's telling me the total that Chris baked. So I think that sounds like my whole, right? Chris baked 54 cookies. He ate 50 of them. So 50 would be my part. Now there are 4 left, right? That should be my second part. So I'm going to go ahead and label and check with my number bond equations, of course. So 54 cookies. That is a lot of cookies. I'm going to make that my whole. He ate 50 of them. Definitely my part because 50 is smaller than 54 and 4 is smaller than 54. So those are my parts. I have 50 and 4, and I said that equals my whole of 54. I'm going to use my equations to double check. So I'm going to do part plus part equals whole. Let's start with 50 because that's our greater number and add 4. Are you ready? 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Did that work? Excellent job, detectives. I don't know why they said this was going to be so hard. We are flying through it. Let's go on to the next one. If you're not using your whiteboard or pencil, make sure you have it now. Amor made 36 masks. 30 of them were red and some were blue. How many were blue? Okay, let's go ahead and label it just like we did in our other problems. Amor made 36. That sounds like my whole. 30 of them were red and wait a second. It doesn't give me a number for blue. I think this is where they were saying that we needed to solve for the missing number. Can you guys help me? Okay. Let's look at this problem again. Amor made 36 masks. We know that some of them are red and some of them are blue. So 36 has to be my total because the red and blue come from the 36. Wow. Okay, so 36 masks, that's my whole. 30 of them were red. So 30 red masks, I'm going to make that my part, right? Because we know that of this 36, 30 are red. And now it just says that some were blue. But do we know how many are blue? We don't. Do we know if that's our whole or our part? That's right. It's our part because we already know our whole. Excellent job, detective. So let's plug it into our number bond. 36 is our whole. 30 is one of our parts. We need to solve for our missing part. Thank goodness you're here because I don't think I could do this without you. How can I solve for my missing part? Ooh, I heard somebody say punch and count. I also heard another friend say break it up into tens and ones. I'm going to try that method since we've been doing a lot of punching and counting. So when I look at 36, it has 6 ones and 3 tens. 3 tens would be 30. So I just need to drag down my 6 ones. 30 plus 6 is 36. Good job, guys. And 36 minus 30 equals 6. Whew. And I thought this was going to be tricky. Okay, next problem. Ubay has 23 cookies. He gave 20 of them away. How many did he keep? Detectives, where do these numbers go in our number bond? Ubay has 23 cookies, and he's giving them away. We know that when you give away, are you adding or subtracting? That's right, we're subtracting. So, 23 cookies, 20 away. I think 23 must be my whole. You're right, because that's how many he started with, which makes 20 my part. And then we're looking for our part. Excellent job, detectives. So let's put 23 as our whole, 20 as our part, and now let's solve for the missing number. We could use our punch and count up strategy, but I really liked how we broke it down into tens and ones. Can we try that again? All right, let's do it. So I'm going to label it this time, tens and ones. So I know that 3 ones is going to be the number 3. And 2 tens, always double check, should be the number 20. So 20 plus 3 equals 23. Excellent job, detectives. You guys are so good at solving for the missing number. I think there's another problem for us to solve. Let's go ahead and find out. Thaddeus has 12 markers and Summer has 10 markers. How many do they have all together? What type of problem does this sound like? Does it sound like we're solving for a part or we're solving for a whole? What do you think? Yeah, I agree. It sounds like we have Thaddeus's part and Summer's part, and we're going to be solving for our whole. What happens when they come together? So let's go ahead and label our numbers. 12 markers. That would be our part. And, oh yeah, Summer had 10 markers. So that's our second part. And then, all together, that would be our whole. Excellent job. So we have 12, 10, and now it's time to find our whole. How can we solve this problem? That's right, our punch method. We love it. But what else could we do? I love the connection you just made. Somebody said, this is just like adding tens from our warm-up. When we add 10 to 12, we get 22, right? 2, 12, 22. Excellent job, detectives. Let's go ahead and check that with our punch method. Ready? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Great job. All right, detectives, this is our last problem. Are you ready? Dylan bought 35 hot dogs. She gave 5 to Quentin. How many hot dogs did she keep? Let's go ahead and label our parts and our wholes. So we know how many Dylan bought. She was giving some away, so her amount was getting smaller, and that's what we're solving for. So are we solving for a part or a whole? That's right. We are solving for a part. So let's go back and label our other numbers. Dylan bought 35 hot dogs. That's my whole, right? Because that's how many she bought, right? That's how many she started with. Then she gave 5 to Quentin. So that's one of our parts. Let's fill in our number bond. We have 35 as our whole. Whoops. And we have 5 as our part. I hope your handwriting is looking a little neater than mine. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to solve for this missing part. We could use our punch and count method, but counting from 5 up to 35, that's a lot of fingers. So can we break it up into our tens and ones? All right, let's label tens and ones. How many ones do we have? That's right, we have 5 ones, and we already wrote the number 5. So now let's look at our tens place. How many tens do we have? We have 3 tens, and when you have 3 tens, 10, 20, 30. Let's say our equations that match this number bond. 30 plus 5 equals 35. Let's do a subtraction one. 35 minus 5 equals 30. Great job, detectives. Congratulations. You are on your way to being a math detective for the FBI. To receive your badge, you have to complete one more task. Complete the final challenge on Seesaw to claim your badge. Good luck! Detectives, it has been so fun solving with you these past couple of lessons. You have learned how to use our addition equation. Part plus part equals whole. You've learned how to use our subtraction equation. Whole minus part equals part. And today, you learned how to solve a story problem using your 2 different equations and being able to double check with both of them. I know you are going to rock out getting your badge on Seesaw. I cannot wait to see the work that you do. Detectives, congratulations. Give yourself a mighty, oh yeah, because you rocked out our detective unit. See you next time, and happy solving.